Welcome in. I Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure not to give a pussy clap. Hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, and click that bell icon for all notifications to know when CBG goes live. Why did I just speak in third person? Guys, not only do you need to hit the thumbs up button so YouTube doesn't kill me off, to Todd's point, super chats are never expected but always appreciated, my friend. But also, I need to get set up with a better camera and lighting because it is horrendous. So if you want to see CBG get some professional camera action going on here and better lighting, and for this to be more of a professional atmosphere, hit the thumbs up button. Of course, I don't plan on wearing a suit and tie anytime soon. That's why I started working remotely, guys. I don't wear that shit anymore. Unless I do client functions, then I guess I need to dress up then. I hope everybody's having a nice day. Certainly is a much better, much more positive environment in today's market. And of course, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it is a TA Q&A day, so I will take some TA questions. But I think something over, going through some TA on some random altcoins, I think something that would provide some added value given the juncture we're at within the market would be for me to provide you with some insights before we get into TA Q&A. I think that, based on the point of where we're at within this bull cycle, it would add more value to your palette for me to go through and just provide you some of my thoughts and insights, like I said, over spending time randomly charting a bunch of altcoins, right? We will have time for TA Q&A, but I want to spend some time going through some thoughts I have surrounding the market. So you can see we're having a nice, decent update today. So nothing about the price action today should surprise you. I did say I was expecting some sort of a bounce back, some sort of initial rejection in this area. And of course, what we should be watching for now is this just, a dead cat bounce, or is this the beginnings of a trend reversal to the upside? Because obviously, all we have are lower highs coming in here, right? So again, I'm not going to tell you what I want to see, what I emotionally want to see in the chart. I'll tell you exactly what the chart is telling me. So in assessing price action here on the 12-hour, we have nothing but lower highs coming in here, right? So we need to begin to break. It's like any other chart. When I go through a question that you guys have on a chart and I bring it up and we have a conversation about it, one of these things I talk about in order to regain a bullish structure within the chart is building those basic building blocks of a bullish narrative, right? So we need the higher highs and the higher lows to come in. That'll also begin to invalidate all of these lower highs, and we want to break out from this descending resistance here, right? So same sort of commentary I would provide on really any other chart that we would look at, right? But quite oftentimes what happens, and it was one of the things I was attempting to signal to you yesterday, and it's further reconfirmed by some of the price action that we're seeing today, is whatever your investment strategy is, however you choose to look at the market, however you choose to make investment decisions, whether you agree or disagree with some of my approaches or how I look at the data. And I think healthy disagreement, as long as you have education to back it up, I always welcome that. The key thing, I really want you to keep this in mind when you're making investment decisions. The key thing is that you want to make sure that you're basing your decisions on something that is empirically driven, something based on hard, factual data. Because if you're not formulating a hypothesis and a view and ultimately making investment decisions, whether it's buying something, selling something, and you're not basing it on empirical data, then the question you have to ask yourself is, what are you actually basing it on? Well, the only other thing you could base it on, if you're not basing it on hard facts, empirical data, as I keep saying, you're basing it on emotions. And as I have said repeatedly on this channel, there's a couple common catchphrases that I use. Shout out to Cherry 7-Up. It's a solid beverage. I've been drinking a lot of these sugar-free sodas lately. I think I need to back off. I've been doing like one a day. But what I did want to what I did want to share with you, now I completely lost my train of thought. What I did want to share with you is your emotions, right? Your emotions, if they're the ones sort of steering the decision process in terms of making financial decisions, is going to lead you awry. Because if you think about it intuitively, if all you're doing is basing how you're investing your hard-earned money, at the end of the day, we all work hard, I'm sure we do. We want to make a decision that is as sound as possible and one that is based on logic and rationality. That's impossible to do if you're basing it on your emotion. If you're still stuck in the wheelhouse of being an XRP maxi, thinking XRP is going to change the world and someone's going to flick a switch, and you're throwing money at that token and you're waiting for $30, I mean, you're going to be waiting a really long time, right? You're not basing it on hard facts within the chart, in this case, how I assess it based on empirical data. You're basing it on an emotional narrative. And a lot of people in that space who really prey on people like that to gain viewers, subscribers, attention, and make money off of their content. If you, and I'm using XRP as an example. I'm not picking on XRP. It was just the first quick example I thought of. But you can't be married to a project. You can't be married to an idea. You've got to ask yourself, am I here to make money? Am I here to, because that is the point of investing, right? Any person who is choosing to take their money and invest it in the market is making a cognitive decision to do so based on the fundamental principle that they're anticipating an expected return, right? That was really, I really stated that so eloquently, didn't I? But let's put it just very simplistically. You put money in something because you're expecting to make a return on it, right? You're hoping to get something out of it. Based on that, I hate to use the word hope. You're anticipating getting something out of it, right? So in order to make that decision, in order to make the most rational decision, you have to base it based on empirical data. You can't go through life investing based on emotions and hopes. It's going to get you burned. And in this space, one of the things that I am clearly learning more and more, narratives are changing all the time. Why did I hop aboard the meme social token train and say months ago, that whatever your view of social tokens are, and look at some of these returns today, whatever your view on social tokens and memes are, you need to get in at least one of these things. It needs to be a portion of your portfolio, and the reason I outlaid to you was because of the narrative, right? Pick fundamentally strong projects with a strong chart, and it seems like a strong community, and you should be in good shape, right? But a portion of your portfolio, in my opinion, never financial advice, is just how I assess the market, should be in social tokens. I recognize the changing dynamics ever constantly within this market, more and more. Crypto AI, meme tokens, real world assets. Making sure that you're allocated in some way to catch that is going to be fundamentally important to the success of your project, and you have to change and evolve with the times. If you're still invested in Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and XRP, Cardano, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you clearly missed the boat. You haven't been following the space very well. Maybe you're still in Dash and Zcash, right? 30% of your portfolio is still in Dash. I'm not shitting on Dash. I'm just saying, clearly you're not interested in investing based on a higher rate of return on some of on what else you could invest in. The other thing is, while you're making decisions based on empirically based evidence and on empirical data, the other thing you have to never lose sight of in this market, in particular, because the market is so volatile and there are so many wild swings day to day. I mean, I will use this example. I mean, this is a very low market cap token. I mean, Wojak was down like 30% yesterday. It's up 30% today, right? I mean, you have such what? Bitcoin was down 6% yesterday. It was up like 4% today, right? That's a huge swing in $1 trillion asset. So the point is, if all you're doing is if you have no fundamental basis to your investment decisions and you're not basing it on some sort of high time frame, fundamental, empirically driven view, you're going to get lost in all this noise. Like you really are then going to be the definition of retail, as we're just ranging in here. You're going to feel all the emotions of that. Something that I had posted out, I had tweeted out. I'm just going to use this terminology for Twitter. I can't get used to this X crap. Something I had tweeted out earlier today. And I tweeted this out at the bin. By the way, Track, I see you're on the live stream, my friend. This was a rhetorical question. I read from a lot of tweets yesterday that price action felt the most fearful in at least a year, yet I felt nothing. And I wonder why that is. And so I was actually astonished to read some tweets suggesting that the market was as fearful as it's been in at least a year. I felt nothing. I literally felt nothing. But why was I unfazed by what was going on yesterday? Because I've spent thousands of hours studying the market over the past how many years. So I know the key charts to look at and sort of whose other perspectives I value to see what their view is, to see how aligned or misaligned I am with certain views that I respect, different charts I'm looking at, and it helps to formulate a crystallized view of how the market looks, high time frame. And unless something changes high time frame, I'm unswayed by this daily volatility, right? That's the point in time you want to get to. If you're not there today, you want to get to that point. You're going to feel a lot less of the emotion. If I am as seasoned as I believe that I am, as rewarding as it's going to feel when we have our true blow off top in this market, as rewarding as that's going to feel, I should be very robotic about it. I should be selling out 20% here, 20% here, 30% here. Very robotic about it. So we'll see if that does occur. But I have all the confidence in the world that that's how I will be. And that's what I expect of myself. And that's the point you want to get to. So speaking of high time frame, no matter what sort of volatility we're getting in here, when you zoom out on the weekly, okay, and I'm demonstrating it here, again, we have nothing but a higher low coming in here. We've got this higher high. We've already got the bottom put in here at 56.5. We haven't invalidated that. We came down to this level. Does this weekly chart not look different than yesterday? It's amazing what one day can do. This is a higher low, guys. We still have a higher low in. Now, keep in mind, today is Tuesday, okay? We still have 5 days left, okay, to print this Sunday candlestick. And by the way, as a reminder, I will be live streaming on Sunday evening because Sunday is setting up for arguably the biggest candle close all year. You have, of course, a daily close, but you have a weekly close, you have a 2-week close, you have a monthly close, a 2-month close, and a 3-month close. And it's coming at a very critical time within price action where Bitcoin sort of needs to decide what it wants to do, right? The only difference between where this candlestick was at yesterday and where it's at today is that we were at the very bottom of this range. Again, I just want to reiterate for you guys, all we've been doing is ranging in here. This is why I felt so unfazed yesterday. We were still in this range, and even though we wicked below here, below the range, I knew that, hey, this is a weekly candlestick. You still got 6 days left of price action. Just because you're all the way down here at 58 or 59,000 doesn't mean you're going to print at 58 or 59,000. A lot can happen in a single day in this market. So there's no reason we couldn't close at the bottom of this range. There's no reason we couldn't invalidate the range. There's no reason that we couldn't print another hammer candlestick like we did back here. But we have to remain patient and allow the prices to develop and tell us what is most and least likely. Again, I guess perhaps the last point I would communicate to you before we start diving into TA Q&A, drop your TA questions in the comments. We haven't done this in 2 weeks technically because last week we did not do it. Maybe the last thing I would articulate to you is that keep in mind when I'm coming out here and I'm communicating to you what's going on in the charts, what am I actually doing? I am communicating empirical data to you, right? I'm just looking at the empirical data and I am interpreting it for you to let you know what the chart is telling me. And then based on that, I'm giving you my most and least probable view, right? That's all I'm doing. I'm not telling you what will or won't happen. I'm just using empirical data to make informed decisions. So just keep that in mind. What question, buy or sell? What questions do you guys have? Glad to see it. I see a few regulars in the comments, which is always good to see. While I'm waiting for some TA questions to come in, because I'm waiting on you guys. Something else I had posted out today. Again, does this need to play out? No. Is the pattern present? Yes. This is a bull pennant. And we could come all the way down here, and it would still be a bull pennant. You know, it wouldn't matter. The whole point is, again, just assessing empirical data. There's a pole, there's a pennant. Clear sign also that this pattern is valid. Look at the volume profile. Look at the volume tick up, peak at the top of the pole, and then as we're consolidating, the volume profile is going down. That's so typical for a bull pennant. This is just a textbook bull pennant that I learned when I started taking courses on charts. So just pointing it out to you guys, and before I get to the comments, I posted this chart right before the live stream. If you want to know, when I first got into Caspa last year, why I was so bullish on the project, the first amount of money that I ever invested in this project wasn't even for the fundamentals. It was for the technicals. I put a little bit in and I said, this is a beautiful chart. I'm putting some in here, and I'm going to start reading up on the fundamentals as well. And from there, you guys know. I mean, I think the fundamentals are monumentally strong as well as the technicals. This is Bitcoin on the top, 3-month, 2-week Caspa chart on the bottom. You really couldn't ask for a better chart. The nice thing that I like about this chart, while you've had some tokens outperform Caspa this year, no doubt, that the representation on this chart suggests longevity to me. This is a nice, smooth, logarithmic growth that Caspa has been experiencing, right? This isn't sharp, volatile movements in price. When you outlay it on a higher time frame perspective, look at how smooth this chart is. It's beautiful. So anticipating a lot of things from this project going into 2025, especially with KRC20 right around the corner. Let's see what questions we have. Ooh, I see a let's fucking go from oof. Let's fucking go Wojak. Should I sell my vet for a faster horse in the race? Been holding since 2000. Well, my friend, you've been holding this whole time. You haven't sold a penny since 2017. Wow. Well, I can't tell you what you should do with your. I never tell people what they should do. That decision is totally up to you. But man, I've really had a stiff neck. Overall, you know, if we zoom out here, mind you, I haven't looked at this chart in a long time. You can see that. You know, overall, chart looks good, right? I mean, chart looks really good. We're waiting to see if we can take out this high here at 28 cents. If you're asking me, are there other projects in the space that have performed better than VeChain? Absolutely. You know, that I can't tell you. You're asking a very broad question. I'll just speak to my portfolio. So, as you guys know, I hold a little bit of the OG coins just for nostalgia. But in terms of an investment, I do own. I'll pick out one. I do own Digibyte. Digibyte has been a massive underperformer, right? At some point, I'm going to sell Digibyte. Now, depending when it appreciates in value, I may take some of those profits. It could be not at the top of the cycle. It could be before the blow off top. I could take some of those profits and reinvest them in other stronger projects. So I think for a project like this that you've been in a long time, sometimes you have to know when to cut your losses if you've clearly identified. I've shared this before. if you've clearly identified something with conviction that you think will outperform VeChain. Okay, this isn't a bad looking chart. It's just there's other charts that look much better. The one thing, Benjamin, that you do want to avoid, though, you do want to avoid over rotating. Okay, over rotating is where you get impatient with something and then you take your profits and you stick them into something else and then you get sick of that and then you rotate into something else. You want to avoid that. You also very importantly want to think about the tax implications. If you sell today and you realistically have been holding this for more than a year, you're only paying a 20% capital gains tax on that sell. If you start selling tokens that you have held less than a year, you're going to be taxed at an ordinary income tax rate, which in my case, because I'm a high earner, it basically doubles my tax. So it's something I have to think about. So if I'm holding something a year or more, I'm taxed just like you at a 20%. If I start selling at short-term capital gains, chalk it up to 40%. It might be 37. It's like 37, 40%. So it's essentially double. So I have to be really careful. Something else that you want to be mindful of. James, that is quite a bold statement. I feel like, I'll be honest with you, I feel like you're giving me more credit than what I deserve, but I really do appreciate it. I've been in this space for a long time. I trust you more than anyone else in this space. I look forward to more learning from you. Thanks. Yeah, I think one of the things that might come through in a lot of the videos that I do is that I'm very willing to admit when I've made wrong decisions in investing, view them as learning opportunities, and I share that with you guys. I'm pretty transparent about stuff. And I also think that hopefully I come across no different than anyone listening and watching right now, because I'm really not. I'm someone who's very passionate about this space, someone who spends a lot of time in this space. Recently, I feel like I haven't, between my health issues that I had with surgery and starting a new job, but I have spent a considerable amount of time in this space, and I'm very passionate about it. And nothing about my long-term vision in terms of spending increasing amounts of time in this space has changed. Okay, I want to make that point clear. I do have bigger aspirations for myself from an educational content perspective. Can I check out Bluezell? Never heard of that. You can certainly take a look. Blue. What ticker symbol you got on that, brother? Bluezell. Oh, it's right here. Okay, never mind. Oh, this is on Coinbase? I don't even know what the hell this is. What is this? Let's see. I am curious. I've never heard of this token. It's got 100 million, just over 100 million market cap. Come on. Bluezell is a decentralized storage network for the creator economy. It delivers high security, unmatched availability, and a censorship resistance. Whether you're an artist, musician, scientist, publisher, developer, protects the intellectual property of all creators. All right, data storage. Would that be in the same space as the graph? I'll have to read up more about them. But, all right. Wow, this has a decent amount of price data. Not too bad. Not too bad. Since 2022, not too bad at all. I'm going to keep this on the weekly, on a higher time frame here. Initial impression of this chart is I like what I'm seeing. So we've definitely ended the downtrend effective 2023. And I want to get back to a point here that Benjamin asked about. This is a great example of something. Remember how I just spoke to the fact that there was a true turnaround in price here in 2023 on Bluezell? This is a great example of why sometimes it's great to cut your losses. You could be sitting in something like a Casper, And you could have bought that thing at 3.5 cents, thinking you were get the deal of a lifetime when it was in the market cap ranking 95 range. Now that thing's pushing what? It's back in the 200 market cap ranking range, and it's barely holding 2 cents. So it's done nothing. You've actually lost money. No matter where you invested in Casper, I want you to think about that. No matter where you bought Casper, unless you managed to get it under 2 cents, you've lost money. It's been a horrific investment. So that's why at some point, when it does double or triple in price, you point to a chart like this and you're like, yeah, but you've already missed out on a 10x on something. So just keep that in mind. So this is your major band of support here that I would point to. As long as we hold up there, we're good to go. There's other areas, but I don't want to overclutter the chart. Of course, one of the things you can see here, we do have clear downward resistance. Pretty easy to point out, right? In terms of areas of resistance that we're going to run into trouble here, and we'll take a look at the price indicators in a moment. Gets a little tricky dicky, We're not going to get too cute with price here. There's ranges, guys. Remember, 39 cents looks like it's going to be a major area. Oh, this is another major area. You got to point that out. Right along like here. Oh, yeah. Clearly. Looks like 29 and 39 cents. Let's clean this up. 0.29. 0.39. Yeah. 0.29 and 39. So 39 and 29 cents are going to be key areas of resistance. Not to mention the, looks like the all-time high that was put in here. All the way up here towards, 48 cents. Chart looks good. I mean, to me, it looks like it just depends how the market's going to go. As long as we can kind of hang out in this area, break the resistance, and then start stair-stepping our way up, looks good to me. Let's quick check out the price indicators here. Starting to try to make a turnaround here. If we go to the lower time frame, yeah, we're trying to come back from some oversold conditions here, so we'll have to see. MACD still has some turning around to do. Here. Good question though. Never charted this one before. What else we got? Can you chart Ondo? I've been thinking about converting my Cardonzo to Ondonzo. You've been thinking about it every day? Wow, that's a lot of thinking, Track. You've been thinking about this every day? This is like the only thing that's on your mind. Should I convert? Give me 1 second. 1 second, guys. Hold on a second. Must convert Cardonzo to Ondonzo. Sorry, Track. All right, let's take a look at this chart here. Well, first off, Cardano's been huge disappointment, like with many of the coins from the prior cycle. Speaks to narratives, right? Again, always ask yourself, are you here because you're emotionally attached to a narrative? You've got to be a part of the XRP community or the Cardano community, or do you want to fucking make money? Like, why are you putting money into crypto? Is it to make money like any other investment? Or are you just fixated to a community? I must be part of this community. It's everything. Anyway. So this is a very beautiful chart. Now, the one thing I would caution you on, Track, is you could probably guess what I'm going to say. Very immature. I don't know if there's another exchange. Just not a lot of price data. Okay. So there isn't a lot of price data. That's the only thing I would caution you on. This is sort of the band of support, but you can see we're Super Marioing up, higher highs and higher lows. I don't need to illustrate it for you. You can see what's going on. I also like to see this nice trend line that we're respecting at the moment. Now, anticipate at some point this trend line is going to break. It's not going to hold up forever. But for the moment, as I've commented on in the past, to the degree that we hold a very vertical ascending channel like this and we respect this as support, it highlights just how strong of a move we're seeing, right? At some point it's going to break, and that's okay. But I'm saying for now, what it's representing is a very strong uptrend, okay? This chart looks beautiful. This is a 3-day. Daily looks like it wants to turn around on the MACD. Clear, the only area of resistance I would indicate here is really just our all-time high. This thing, you could pick out another area, but again, I'm fine. So for me personally, in assessing this chart, I am completely fine if this thing, it'd be strongest if we respected our current wicks here, but I'm fine if we come down to this region and then just continue up. I'm fine with that. Now, if we break this area here at 73 cents, then you're not looking really at support until possibly there at 61 cents. So you want to see that 72 cents hold up. But Track, I got to tell you, man, this is a very good chart. Very, very, very nice chart. I'll be honest with you. One that I'm actually going to be taking a look at after the live stream, because I do have a portion of my position right now that I'm actively trading, and I'm very open to sort of rediversifying a percentage of that allocation. So I'm at least going to take a look at this. Nice. James, I'm going to jump to a couple other TAs because we're going to run out of time. So apologies that I can't get to both of your questions. Juan RVF. I'm going to try to make this one quick because I want to get to Oof's question. And I don't want the no zone. So who asked this question? Juan? Juan, my guess is because you are a loyal viewer. You were here when we... See how I always use green for support and red for resistance? You see how we must have been up here? Okay, we must have been up here. My guess is we were somewhere in this price area right in here. And I said if we started to break below these levels, which we have, this is on the 3-day, we're entering the no-no zone. So let's talk about the no-no zone now that we've entered it. Oh, man. Juan, this is not good. The bad news is, I'm actually going to leave this here because I find that quite comical. And at least Juan finds it comical as well. I can't tell you where prices are definitively going to go, like with any chart. But why does that look so retarded? Ooh, that's a bad word. You can't say that, CBG. Don't say retard. You can't say it's a bad word. So many words we can't say anymore. Anyway, I don't want to get off topic here. I love everyone. It's just I wish people would take life a little bit more lighter sometimes and not get so goddamn uptight about every single word choice people use. Anyway, hey, let's get back to the charts. So what I'm saying is the reason I called this the no-no zone in all seriousness is once you break below these candle bodies here, these wicks, I want to be very crystal clear about with you. I want to be very crystal clear with this to you. Some technical analysts, I don't think, properly interpret bodies and wicks, in my opinion. Wicks are an expression of volatility. I don't give two fucks about the wicks in many respects. In some ways, it does tell you a story, but in many ways, it's also just a degree of volatility. What I'm more concerned with is when I can draw confluence on the bodies, because the bodies is where the price is closing. So there's more confluence where it closes versus where the volatility comes in, if you follow what I'm saying. So now we're below this red line. That means that the only thing holding us up is volatility. 3 lines of volatility. I don't give a lot of credence to that. So what else would hold us up? The connection of these 2 bodies and then just all the way down here. So now that we're in the no-no zone, what I'm telling you is this thing is at risk. I'm not telling you it's going to. We could have bottomed right now. We could have completely deviated from this area, and we could have a 50% move tomorrow, and Juan's back on the live stream, and he's fucking selling his RVF, his Rocket X exchange, for a brand new Nissan Sentra. All right, I don't know why I just said Nissan Sentra. I think because I was taking a walk today, and I kept walking past this Nissan Sentra, and I really like the color on it. And I like the Nissan Sentra. It's a nice car. But anyway, point is, now that we're in the no-no world, there's a very heightened risk because there's no price structure over here. There's no price structure here to hold prices up, right? I constantly highlight this on the channel, which is why hey guys, let's bring it home. Let's bring it home to where we started the live stream, which is why this is so fucking healthy. All of this is structure. So in the event when we do come down for a correction, theoretically, this should provide a ton of price confluence, and we should at least initially bounce off this area, even if we do over time, which we will in my opinion, break below it. It at least provides temporary support, right? Versus it just being a straight shot parabola, and it's a tree with no tree branches. You can't grab onto anything. There's no price structure. So that's the risk with RVF. I'm sorry, Juan. We're in the no-no zone. I want to get to Oof's question. Oh, you're not invested right now. Well, I'm glad for you. GPU. Why the fuck? GPU. Why do I know what that ticker is? Is that a... It's a crypto... Why does that sound familiar? GPU. Sounds familiar. Holy fuck. Well, maybe... What the hell happened here? Am I pulling up the right one? Oh. Is it this one? No, this is GST. GPU gonna be a banger. It's like render. Am I pulling up the right token, Oof? This is the last chart of the day, so help me out here, brother. GPU is what lies between myself and dinner. So, Node AI. GPU 1 is what it says. Doesn't look like. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. I'm not seeing what... I'm assuming this is what we're talking about here. Yeah, Node AI. This is on Poloniex. Is there another exchange this is on? It's kind of annoying. Let's see what exchanges this is on. Of course it's on Mexi. Uniswap, Mexi, BingX. All right, Poloniex. So this is Node AI. Not a lot of price data here, my friend. What I will comment on is my initial take on this right off the bat. I mean, I saw this instantaneously when I pulled up the chart. Once I actually located the correct chart. No question in my mind, this is setting up for a potential pennant here. There's a couple ways you can draw it. You could draw it like this, right? Okay. You can draw it like this. You can draw it like this. It's all valid. And the reason it's valid is because the way that I am drawing these lines is being represented by the fact that they're interconnecting, and they're interconnecting with wicks and potentially bodies, but they're not going through the body, right? So I can do this. It's interconnecting. It's touching the bodies, but I can't do this. This is, if somebody draws this for you, they don't have a fucking clue what they're doing with TA, and please unfollow them immediately. You can't draw lines through bodies. But you can have them touch the bodies like that. You can have them touch the wick. So I see a massive potential bull pennant. Again, price structure so early, that's really hard. I mean, this thing could fall apart. You know, I've seen so many of these things where they look strong and then they end up falling apart. One of the other things I would consider if I was establishing a position here is what part of the cycle are we in? How bullish am I on altcoins? If I'm bearish on altcoins and I see a setup like this, I'm going to be very skeptical. I'm going to be very skeptical about a break to the upside. If I'm very bullish on altcoins, I'm going to be more optimistic regarding a potential break to the upside. But this is your major area here of resistance and support. I'm not going to clutter it too much. You got 1.7 and $3 is your major regions of resistance. You could actually bring this one down here if you wanted to. I mean, you could draw this a couple different spots, but okay, I redrew it. 1.9. I kind of like that better. 1.9 and $3, and then you got this area of support here. If we start, the thing is similar to the no zone that we just looked at, with Juan. If we start to break down below here with candle bodies on this 3-day, you have nothing over here, so you're just running the risk of a bleed. So just be careful there. But yeah, that's all I got on that. Price indicators really aren't going to tell you much, as you can see. We're just way too early. So, all right, guys. Hey, I appreciate the support. Everybody turning out once again for another fun-filled evening of charting with CBG. I will be back tomorrow. We'll see how the market treats us for the remainder of the week. Just a reminder before you hop off, I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here Thursday. I'm not going to be here Friday, but I'll have to try to come up with a clever thumbnail. But I will be here for the Sunday daily close, because that daily close on Sunday is going to be a daily, weekly, 2-week, monthly, 2-month, 3-month, and is arguably the most important close of the entire year given where we're at within the market. So make sure to come in and check things out on Sunday. Until next time, everybody, let's all spread awareness and let's carry the education forward. Take care, everybody.